is criminal defense attorney Sara Azari. And Sara, let's talk about the parents for a moment, because here's the prosecutor this morning on CNN defending her decision to charge them.
If he had not had access to that weapon, if it was secured away from him, whether it's locked or not, he had access to it. And all of this could have been prevented if he hadn't had access, or if just one of those parents had said, I'm concerned about what I'm seeing right now, and I also want you to know we just bought him a gun for Christmas. And that didn't happen.
In addition to the involuntary manslaughter charges, you also have their behavior after learning of the charges that's part of this equation now. How strong is the case against the parents? And given how rare it really is for parents to be implicated in a school shooting, could this case set a new precedent, do you think?
I mean, Anna, look, I don't think the fact pattern here is also unprecedented. We have some really egregious facts here, and the prosecutors made it clear that not every school shooting will result in charging parents. And the reason is because here you have not only the parents' inaction, but their action. They bought him a gun. They gave him access to the gun. They taught him how to shoot. They went on social media, posted and boasted about the gun. And then when they could stop him, they instead encouraged him, just LOL, just, don't get caught or don't do it. And then when they were faced with that deadly note, they failed to tell the school that he had access to a gun. So I disagree with folks who have been saying, it's a hard case to prove because of omissions. I've had a number of child neglect cases that are about what the parents don't do, not what they do. And I think we have what they did and what they didn't do. With respect to their post-indictment, post-charge behavior, I think it's hurt them already, and it will continue to hurt them. Number one, it impacted their bond. $500,000 on involuntary manslaughter is significantly high. They're unable to post it, and they're detained. Secondly, down the road, the prosecution is going to be able to argue that when you flee, that is consciousness of guilt. So if they didn't do anything wrong, why do they have to run away? So I think that has definitely hurt them as well.
They were eventually found hiding in a warehouse, and officials say the man who helped them get into the warehouse is cooperating with authorities. But what kind of legal trouble could he be in?
So, Anna, under Michigan law, harboring a fugitive can be a felony offense. You're exposed to 4 years imprisonment if you're convicted. But it turns on knowledge, right? Did this man know that they are wanted on a felony when he gave them access to that building and then essentially let them stay there? Now, according to his own statements, I understand he's saying they're just an acquaintance. He doesn't know them that well. They've used that workspace before. So there's that idea that there's no bias, there's no close relationship, but also that he was unaware. Now, that's a little dubious, right? With a high profile case like this and the resources that were put out and the manhunt for this couple, the idea that he didn't know that they're wanted on felony charges is questionable. So of course, as they continue this investigation and find evidence of his knowledge, that's what his liability is going to turn on.
I do want to ask you about some of these new details we're learning about what the suspect allegedly told school counselors before the shooting. The superintendent now says the suspected shooter said that the drawing, the one that raised red flags, was, quote, part of a video game he was designing. The superintendent also says as counselors tried to reach his parents, the suspect was concerned about missing assignments and quote, requested his science homework, which he then worked on in the office. I wonder, how could these details that we're learning be used in the case against the suspect? Does this speak to his state of mind?
I mean, look, from a parental and academic standpoint, I think when you start failing in school, missing assignments, that's an issue, but it doesn't rise to the level of giving the school some kind of notice that he's on the brink of committing a violent act.
Well, and in fact, quite the opposite here. It sounded like he was trying to be a good student, the way they, characterized it, and was worried about being out of class and missing the assignments that were taking place during, his absence at that moment, and asked to have that work brought to him so he could work on his science homework.
Right on, and to that point, the school relied heavily on the fact that he had no disciplinary record, right? But as we know, shooters don't typically come with fat rap sheets and fat disciplinary records. So there's a first time, and it's fatal. And so I think the school definitely is culpable. I'm not sure if it's criminal culpability. I think they failed to search him. They failed to search his locker. They didn't ask about whether he had access to the gun. But as the prosecutor turned it around this morning on New Day, on the parents, that the parents should have informed the school that this child had been gifted a gun and had access to a gun. So again, I think the parents' culpability is criminal. The school's culpability is most definitely civil because they have an inherent duty to keep the school safe. But I think they made the mistake of not expelling the kid right away and not searching him for sure.
Sara Azari, always appreciate you. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, Anna.
What is